Greetings and salutations, and we're back for some more One Talent Sorceress. Now, I am recording very late at night. As a matter of fact, as you can see up there in the corner, right up here, 12:15 in the morning. And the main reason is, you know what? I'll divulge it. I've been playing Ashes of Creation, and yeah, I started playing it earlier today at like 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock ish, and I got really addicted into the game. That is a dangerous game. It is a dangerous, dangerous game. Just based solely off the fact that, like, you could do. I mean, it's not. It's obviously not going to be for everybody, right? So, let that be. Let that serve as. I can't even say as a warning, but let that serve as like a. How do I want to say it? Just as a precautionary statement. Then again, not every game is for everybody, right? And for the games that are not for everybody, it's fine, right? Not like I said, not every game is going to be for every single person, and that's okay. It's like me. I don't care for the Dark Souls series. Just don't. I think Dark Souls is deliberately overdeveloped to be, or developed to be overly difficult, so they could shorten the game time and get, they could say, oh, it's a 60-hour game. No, it's just 10 hours repeated 6 times because, the player skill's not able to manage to take out certain enemies or what have you. And that's just the way I view it. But then again, that's the way I've always viewed it. Perhaps it's the wrong way to view it, but it's my way to view it. Speaking of games being difficult, I had someone who was a rather, let's just say, I can't even say a heckler. He was just a interesting commenter on my Bazaar game about me saying it's imbalanced. And, criticism where criticism's due, the Bazaar is imbalanced. I mean, if you're playing the Bazaar and you've never really played something like it before, the RNG choices that come up matter a lot. And if you get shafted on RNG, that's the beginning of your, that's the start of your problems. But when you have things like Pig and Mac later on, Pygmalion and Mac, you just don't win much later on. And of course, this guy said get good. Which, sure, you know what? He's right. I could get good. I mean, it completely overlooks the fact that there is glaring problems with the game. But he's right. And for the people out there that are like, well, wait. He's just being a bit of a douche. Well, maybe. Maybe not. It's his opinion. So, I'm not going to take that away from him. But if you look at it from this perspective, right? The game has such a glaring balance issue that even other people that play it, and play it more often and better than I do, also say the same thing. It's no longer an opinion of just get good. It's now, wait a minute, multiple people are saying the same thing. Right? And some of these people play the game more often than I do and play it a lot better than I do. And yet they're still saying the same thing. Take, for example, I'm trying to come up with an example. The HDR in Call of Duty, right? There's a whole bunch of people saying that the HDR is broken because it's a one-shot kill from any range. And there's other people saying that the HDR shouldn't have to be re-leveled because it was already a sniper rifle that existed. So you have two schools of thought that don't really care for the HDR being the way it is. Okay, fair criticisms. If it was only one or two people saying that, fair assumption, yeah. That it's a one-off. That you just have to play around it. You just have to find a way to do better, right? But if it's the vast plurality of people that are saying it, then there's an issue here. Or if there's a vast plurality of people using it because it's broken, is usually a good indicator. You've seen the types, right? They play the Fad of the Month class in like World of Warcraft, or they play the Fad of the Month class in other MMORPGs or just in other games. Or they use the Fad of the Month weapons in Fortnite or Halo or whatever game you play. Or, to make another Dark Souls reference to kind of double back around on that, like those people that constantly use summons and the bleeding techniques or whatever, right? And then you have the other Dark Souls people that are saying, well, those aren't real Dark Souls players, etc. Why? Because that stuff's overtuned? I mean, it exists in a game, get good. Get good and use it. It's the same thing. It runs along saying the same thing. This is why games that have a higher skill ceiling, kind of like Ashes of Creation. Because Ashes of Creation does have a skill ceiling. I don't know if I should even call it a skill ceiling. It's more like a skill floor. Because the higher skilled you are, obviously it's going to show in that game. But in any game where there is a skill ceiling or a skill floor, and you could see where the higher skilled players make better moves, make better options, or choose better options, and so on and so forth. It's a really interesting, almost, I can't even say dichotomy, but more of like an interesting viewpoint, right? Are the players better skilled because they've been doing it longer? Or are the players better skilled because they're choosing what is the fad of the month? Because if they're choosing the most overpowered thing, then is it really skill? Or is it just something being overtuned? I mean, raises an interesting question. For example, another prime Call of Duty example here. Whoa. That was interesting. Oh, she's dead. It's like with using the riot shield. A lot of people had complaints about the riot shield. In Warzone, right? A lot of people complained about the riot shield. Well, it's too strong, it's too this, too that, and it got removed. For the most part, it was just they just said nope, no more. You can't have the riot shield. And it's like, okay, are the people that ran the riot shield skilled, or are they just abusing a mechanic? That almost killed me. That was nasty. Half the people would say, oh, well, they're skilled because they learned how to play with the item and play around the item. Then you have the other people that are saying, oh, well, they're not skilled because all they're doing is just abusing this item. Just raises interesting questions, is all. Now, personally, I'm not one that uses stuff like that at all. I try to use things that are not trendy. Then again, I also just picked up this item, so I get to use Ice Blast and Ice Bolt. Those are granted to me by an item. I don't know. I guess my perspective on things is very different from other people. And I guess in a way I'm glad that it is. Because if it was the same as everybody else, I mean, it would be kind of dull, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have differentiation of opinions. You would just have kind of like automatons just agreeing with one another. But I'm glad. I'm glad I had a comment,
It's long gone now.
even if it's a negative comment. And people say, wait, why would you be happy to get a negative comment? Because bad press is better than no press.
Not enough mana.
And if he's leaving a negative comment, it means that he took the time to watch the video. Right? And it's like, there you go. They took the time to add viewer metrics to a video.
I need mana.
Which, to me, means a lot. Might not mean a lot to other people, but to me, it means a lot. It means a ton. I'm very thankful for it. So even the people that think, oh well, I'm gonna do nothing but razz this guy and get him to stop playing the game. Haha. It's not gonna get me to stop playing the game. In fact, I'm gonna be recording another episode of the Bazaar, and it's gonna be me playing mostly the same Vanessa. I'm gonna be doing casual games this time. I'm not gonna be trying to do rank games. I think if I do casual games and earn up enough gems that way, I might be able to buy like Pig or Mac. I don't know if I want to do Pig or Mac. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Not enough mana.
I think if I earn up enough gems and do it, only way to do it is to do it. Right? It's that age-old adage.
I need mana.
Or my personal favorite, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. It's one of those things. And I'm going to try to really put forth an effort and get the game to a point where I have access to things like Pig or what was it, Weldon? Can't remember the little robot's name, but I'm gonna try it. Just because I want to see how vastly different the playstyles are. Kind of like with a one talent challenge, the playstyles are much different. Because you could come in here and assume that this is going to be easy, right? It's one talent. It's one talent, but, and that's the key there, is the but. It's that one talent is very limiting, especially with the way I'm running it. It's extremely limiting. So you almost have to think things through to such a degree that you're making quite possibly the best educated decision. And it's on hardcore, so it's not like you could just run your head into the wall and die multiple times on Duriel. Like, I don't know. I guess that's why I like this game and this game style. Is it brings that interesting level of challenge where I have to think things through. Ah, yes, one of the things I wanted to mention too. Um, sometime this July, I believe it's this July. When we get closer to that date, I'm going to be doing a stream, hopefully on YouTube, and the stream on YouTube will be mostly a one talent challenge and a hardcore one talent challenge where I pick the class and you guys get to pick the talent that I get to go through normal with. And I'll see if I can make it. And we'll see what happens. Of course, the same rules apply. I'm only allowed to pick talents that are easily accessible. Oops. Not that either. T for the skill tree. Like, I was only allowed to pick Frozen Armor, Ice Bolt, Frost Nova, Charge Bolt, Telekinesis, Static Field, Firebolt, Warmth, or Inferno. Right? So I picked Frozen Armor. Because I figured the defense is one of the things that a sorceress is lacking. And I thought, you know what? It could carry her all the way through. And then pick up skills from staves and other items. Which is allowed. So, I can only use skills granted by items. Outside of the one talent I pick up. I already know what class I'm going to play. And I have a pretty distinct idea what talent y'all are going to pick. But I will let you know when we get closer to that date. Actually, on that date. But that will be coming up on the channel. I will have a video up that day as well, but I will be doing a live stream. And I'm also trying to PvP to High Warlord through World of Warcraft still. And I know who wants to PvP through World of Warcraft, but at the same time, it's the only thing I have not done. And because it's the only thing I have not done, once I do, I'm going to be creating a video of my World of Warcraft send-off. The final time. And it's going to be me telling the story about, you know, how I got into World of Warcraft and how long I've been playing it. And why I'm quitting. And there's a lot of reasons. And yes, I am going to be retiring World of Warcraft permanently. And that'll be after I make High Warlord. No, I already have Cold Resist. I also have Cold Resist with other stuff. It's kind of weird, though. Like, I will admit this. It feels weird to walk away from World of Warcraft. Especially after as long as I've played it. It's not 100% like I'm gonna make an equivocation here, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way. It's kind of like saying goodbye to a friend. Or oh, not that. Or saying goodbye to a family pet. Because it truly is the end of an era, right? And you look back on it and you look at all the times it was there when you had nothing else to play and you were just kind of like, you know what? I haven't had anything else to play. I'm going to play this. And so you picked up and started playing World of Warcraft. Okay. Knowing that, it's different, right? And it's like I said, it's kind of like saying goodbye to a friend or family pet. And I know how hard it is to say goodbye to family pets. Trust me. I had to say goodbye to two of them over 2 years. And they were my very best friends. And I miss them every single day. But they were two Pomeranians. And they were the craziest set of dogs you'd ever want to meet. But at the same time, they were just they were amazing animals. They were lovable. Like beyond reproach lovable. It was absolutely crazy how much they loved people. Despite what people told me, like I had people saying to me, "Oh, Pomeranians are a one-person dog. Um, they're gonna only attach to you. They're gonna be snippy and angry with everyone else." And I was like, "Okay, well, whatever. They're adorable, so I'm gonna get Pomeranians." And they were not that at all. In fact, they were the opposite. My one dog, Scribbles. Scribbles loved everybody. Like, Scribbles had this disposition where it did not matter who you were. He was going to walk into if you walked into the house and you sat on the couch, he got up and he laid on your lap and he would put his head right on your chest and look at you like, this is my human now. Nothing you could do about it. And he did this with legitimately every single person. There was no, he wasn't partial. And the other one was very skittish around people, but once he warmed up to him, he was just as lovable as Scribbles. In his own way. He was a little bit different, but he was just as lovable. So, and Scribbles was the one that I got first. And when I got Scribbles chose me. I went to go get the dogs. I went to go take a look at the dogs. Well, I wasn't even thinking about getting one at that moment. I went to go check them out. And when I did, all the rest of the dogs didn't even care that I walked in. They just turned away and just kind of minded their own business. And yet, whoa, Pitspong foul dog, don't you dare. But they just kind of like minded their own business. They didn't care if I was there or not. Like the majority of the dogs, when it mattered if I walked in the door or not. Not Scribbles. The moment I walked in there, he looked right at me, ran right over to the side of the little enclosure they were in, like a little pack and play, and was trying to climb up the side to come have me pick him up. I reached down, I picked him up, I held him close, and he fell asleep right up next to me. Just snuggled right in and fell asleep, and I was like, this is the one. Well, the lady we got him from said, I can't see letting them go alone. Please take another one with you. And so we did. We took another one with us. And we took the runt of the litter, which was... He was a weirdo, but he was my weirdo. Taught him how to take turns. You try teaching a Pomeranian how to take turns. You try teaching a dog how to take turns. I'd be sitting there giving them like puppy ice cream, the ones that were like made out of, beef tallow and peanut butter and stuff like that. They were like organic puppy ice creams and everything. During the summer, I would give it to him during the summer when it was hot, to kind of cool him down. And I'd have a little baby spoon, and I'd dig some out and hand it down, and set it down toward them. The first one that came up would eat, and then I'd dig some more out, and then I'd set it down. And then the second one would come up and eat, and I didn't even have to say a word. They just, once I had gotten them trained to the point of taking turns, they realized once one eats, the next one gets to come in and it's their turn. Now, they had a food dish that was down all the time, okay? And didn't bother them in the least. They both went up and ate out of the food dish. They didn't have a pecking order like, oh, I get to eat first, then you. Nope. If one was at the food dish and the other one started to sniff it and wanted some, they just kind of stood there. He didn't care. They looked at each other like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's down all the time. It's not like it's going to run out. There's always food there. That's just how it was. But saying goodbye to a game that I've had a subscription to for the most part. There have been a couple of times where I did, walk away from the game shortly, and I was away for a short amount of time, and I went to other games, like, other MMOs and everything, and they just did not hold me, and they did not have the appeal. And it was crazy. I would eventually come back to it. But I've, on and off for the better part of 20 years. 21 years, actually. I've played that game. And walking away from it for the final time, I think is going to be... I think it's going to be difficult. Not difficult to do as in, like, I'm going to want to come back, but difficult as in I've spent a ton of time on that game. And just having that time sunk into it, I think that's what's really gonna get to me. But I can't say it was time wasted, right? Because I have very fond memories that I will get into when I go to do that video. I have very fond memories of a lot of times that I had when playing the game. I have very fond memories of just the game in general. It's gonna be like that when the inevitability comes when I walk away from Pokemon competitively. Anyway, now I did play competitive Pokemon for quite a while. I mean, I still have the ability and I still have the drive to do it too. I want to continue doing singles and doubles and whatnot. I might make a video on one of them today. Ow. Yeah, the spectral hit's kind of an absolute pain in the balls. I got him, but at what cost? I gotta go back and get more health potions. But eventually, I'm gonna get to the point where playing Pokemon competitively is going to also reach the pinnacle. And I don't think I'll ever stop playing video games. I honestly don't. The enjoyment I get out of them, the enjoyment I have making videos, even is crazy. Like I look forward to doing this. That's the crazy part about it. I never thought I would. I never thought that I would sit down in front of a computer and say, I really want to make a video of me playing a game. Never thought I'd get there. Yet here I am. And I love doing it. I mean, I guess it's the joy of creating that's there. That's really the only thing I could say about it. And until people try it, they won't know. Know what I mean? As weird as that sounds, and as odd as it seems, that joy of creating. I know that that's the title of a Five Nights at Freddy's spin-off game, but the joy of making something and taking the time and effort to really pour out your creative idea and to put it out there and have other people watch it and even critique it. And it doesn't matter if they do critique it, just go for it. If it's something you don't like, hey, say you don't like it. I've got tough skin. I can handle it. Just like that guy telling me to get good. I can handle it. I mean, do I think he's incorrect? Not 100%. No. I think he's got some points. Yeah, I could get better at the game. But I also think he's missing a large portion of the game. Plain and simple. I think there's a point where we're both right and there's a point where we're both wrong. And it's in that juxtaposition and it's in that I can't even call it a juxtaposition. It's in that paradoxical value. What the really? 96,000 of them, huh? It's in that paradoxical value that we all just kind of exist, where we say something and we're right, but we're also wrong. Another point in the frozen armor. And more life points, because apparently I need it. I've noticed that the sorceress doesn't get a lot of life either. And I'm talking like life per point. But anyway, the joy of making something and putting it out there for others to enjoy, that in and of itself has a feel all its own. And until people actually try it, they'll never understand what that feeling is. As weird as that sounds. And it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube content, right? It doesn't have to be a video. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It can be something as simple as making bread, making a cake, making chili, or gumbo, making a cross stitch thing, making like anything. Just create something. You'll be surprised how fun it is when you're done. And I've made a lot. I mean, I've even made a game. Right? I did the voice acting for it. I mean, whether or not the voice acting was any good, meh. It's not like I'm a professional voice actor. It's not like I've spent my entire life perfecting it or doing it. But I did it for the love of doing it. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I do the things I do. It's either for the skill, to learn something new, to see something from a different perspective, to walk in the shoes of another person, if only ever so briefly. Hard telling. I know what developers go through now. I know the strides they take. I know the things they do to a degree. But I also know that they're not beyond criticism. I also know that they have to be able to take the same types of critiques that everyone else that creates does. So they're not above it. They're just kind of... It's just something they have to kind of deal with. You know what I mean? Whether or not they agree with it. Ooh, all resistance is 5. I like that more than the other thing. The extra gold from monsters can kind of go too. It's my first topaz too. That's nice.
Good day.
The Order welcomes you.
Trying to think. I probably should end it here because it's almost 40 minutes. That's the thing though. Like I want people to just maybe I want people to just start viewing things from a different perspective. Maybe that's it. Right? Like how I'm looking at World of Warcraft. It's almost like losing a friend. Like I said, almost. And it's because it's been there. It's been that reliable thing that I would go back to repeatedly when I had nothing else to play, right? And try something, get out there and do something, create something. Even if it's, something simplistic. It should be something as simple as drawing a design in the dirt with a stick. A really intricate design. Or even a simplistic design. But create. You'll notice that in that creation, who you are comes forth. And starts to shine. And that's what I found with this channel. Specifically with these videos. This one. Like Diablo. In the Diablo videos, I've noticed that my creations and my philosophical mind, and I almost want to say esoteric topics, come out more often when doing this. But only when doing this. This is so strange. For me, anyway. That's the way it is. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you create something. I hope you go out there and decide, you know what? I'm going to go make that loaf of sourdough bread I've always wanted to make. Or I'm going to make a cake from scratch. Or I'm going to make an in-ground barbecue pit. Whatever it is. Whatever your heart desires to create, create. See what happens. You never know. You might come up with something that really sells well. You might come up with something that you enjoy doing. You might come up with something that you enjoy doing that becomes a career path that you never knew existed. Never can tell. But I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow. And as for that one commenter, I will get good. And as always, have a good one.